Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're taking a look at another Generation 1 Transformer. I think he's sitting a little squat here. There we go, that's better. We're taking a look here at the 1985 Autobot Diversionary Tactician Smokescreen. And of course, many of you could probably figure why we're taking a look at Smokescreen. He is about to get a new Earthrise version. So we might as well take a look at the Generation 1 version ahead of that. Smokescreen was released in 1985, and he would be discontinued by 1986. And we would not really get a replacement for him until 1990, when they gave a similar role to Wheeljack. Why they changed Wheeljack to do Smokescreen's job is beyond me, but Smokescreen fortunately didn't get an Action Master. Take that as you may. Now, Smokescreen here is another Transformer body that has been repeated before, as in 1984 both Blue Streak and Prowl shared the same alternate mode, or at least the car model, and the same transformation. In fact, all of their weapons and accessories are essentially the same. The only way to really tell the difference on their chrome weapons is for signs of damage to the chrome. If it matches the color of the missile launchers, then it's the correct accessory. If it does not match, then it belongs to one of the others. I found that out at Robocon one year when I had to buy a new gun for Prowl. At any rate, Smokescreen's toy has been around for a while in the Japanese line, because lo and behold, I have this, the advertising bit for the Battle Convoy for Diaclone's car robots. Of course, you all recognize who that is, so I won't bother you with that. But you take a look down here at number 11, and that is Smokescreen. Of course, we'll let you guys look at this a little bit, since it's been quite a while since I've shown this to people. So you can see some of the differences between what we got in Transformers versus what was available in Japan. As you can see, Jazz was done in a gray color. There's a red Sunstreaker, like I mentioned earlier. And there's a police variant of Sunstreaker. And of course, there's a red version of Skids, a blue version of Blue Streak, and Hoist was done in a red color. Of course, this basically doubles as a Japanese set of instructions for Optimus, so we don't need those here in the way. But that kind of shows you that this mold has been around for quite a number of years. Now, Smokescreen here has the unique role for him as a diversionary tactician. What that means is that he comes up with tactics that are meant to divert attention away from him and the Autobots during their military campaigns. Smokescreen's job is to divert the Decepticons' attention onto a false target, while the Autobots attack their real objective. However, he's apparently so good at his job with it that Optimus uses him as an infiltrator amongst the Autobot ranks to keep an eye out for any potential problems within the ranks. Thus also, Smokescreen can use his skills to divert attention away from other problems within the ranks, or for special secrets that are needed to be kept in the Army. Anyway, let's take a look at Smokescreen's articulation, and it is, just like with Prowl and Bluestreak, it is limited to his arms. You can raise the arm at the shoulder about so far. The arms do rotate at the shoulder a bit, and they can bend at the elbow, but he bends at the elbow both ways. Plus, of course, the wrists can be rotated, although it's not easy to do this one-handed. And another feature that must be pointed out is this thin windshield here behind his head. His Smokescreen here suffers that same problem that Bluestreak, Prowl, and Jazz all suffer from, and that is this windshield is on a very, very thin piece of plastic, and it does break very, very easily. It broke very easily back then when the toys were made, and after nearly 40 years of exposure to air, they break even easier. So it is definitely recommended that you keep this toy stored in a very safe place, and preferably out of reach from anybody who may accidentally break it. At any rate, to transform Smokescreen, first thing we have to do is remove his weapons. Just like that. I'm going to keep him upright a little bit here. We're going to take the hood of the car on his chest and we're going to fold that upright. The arms, we try to adjust the fists accordingly so that you can fold the arm under. One arm folds up and goes right underneath the front bumper, whereas the other arm folds downward. And supposedly, if you've got everything lined up properly, the posts here at the top of the arms should connect to the opposite fist, and they'll help hold the wheels in place. Now, of course, getting him to do that is a bit of a chore. But there we go. Got lucky on that one. And down here, you're going to raise this tab in the middle of his waist, like so, so that you can rotate the legs around, and then you fold that back into place to secure his legs. We'll turn him around here, slide the legs together, and then fold them down like so. The rear panel should adjust itself and rest on top. Then we just slide the body together, close the doors, and adjust the roof into position. And there we have Smokescreen in his car mode. He is a modified Datsun Fairlady, modified to be a racing car. So as you can see, he has a couple of more intakes on the hood, something that's not present on Bluestreak or Prowl, but he also has a spoiler here at the back. He's supposedly based upon a real car that was painted in a similar color scheme, but had the numbers reversed. That way they didn't have to pay royalties and such. And of course, the beauty about Smokescreen is that there is some die-cast metal in here and some good old rubber tires. So he ought to roll pretty good. Oh yeah, he rolls very good. Sorry I didn't go too hard with it. I've be afraid of him going flying off the edge of this table. But as you can see, he does roll very, very good. That's what you'd expect from a racing car. Let's take a look now at Smokescreen's accessories, starting with his gun. His gun here is listed as an electro-disruptor rifle in the instructions. As you can see, it's all done up in chrome. It's basically the same shape as the one that Prowl and Bluestreak use. Smokescreen also has 3 of these missiles. Of course, the tip and the very base are often the most damaged chrome-wise, due to the fact that that's how they were on the plastic tree that held them. And of course, this allows me to show you here, as you can see, with it laying against my finger, that there is a bit of white here exposed, and that's the correct color. That would tell you that it is truly a Smokescreen missile, if you're picky about that sort of thing. And then, of course, Smokescreen has 2 of these missile launchers. They're the same shape as the ones that Prowl and Bluestreak have. The Prowls are gray and Bluestreaks are red in color. And again, like all of the launchers, they are neutered, so don't expect any firing missiles anytime soon. Alright, now let's take a look at Smokescreen's instruction manual. Open it up like so. You can see all the stuff that he came with there. And then the start of the transformation process. Not bad at all. And of course, since they had an extra page in here on Smokescreen, they just put the rub sign bit on its own page and then left the final page to be the robot points and the tech specs. Quite nice of them to do that. Speaking of which, we got the tech spec right here. It's all done in red to signify he's an Autobot. Even says Autobot above the picture. And of course, this picture would have been the same one that you would find on the front of the box. It gives his name as Smokescreen and lists his function as Diversionary Tactician. His motto is, "A look can be deceiving, a touch can be lethal." Whether engaged in raging battle or friendly conversation, an ulterior purpose usually exists. Job is to lead enemy astray. Sneaky, but charming and affable. Considered the most devious yet most trusted of Autobots. In car mode, emits thick smoke from tailpipe. Attracts to metal. In robot mode, shoots missiles which wreak havoc on enemy aircraft radar and guidance systems. Electro-disruptor rifle shorts out electrical targets. So in many ways here, Smokescreen was our way of dealing with the Decepticon Air Force, as his missiles could could cause problems with their radar and guidance. At any rate, let's take a look at his stats here on the grid. It gives his strength is 4, his intelligence is 9, his speed is 7, his endurance is 6, as is his rank, his courage is 8, his firepower is 7, and his skill is 9. So, aside from being somewhat physically weak, Smokescreen is a pretty good warrior. Now we get down to my thoughts. What do I think of Smokescreen? Well, Smokescreen, like I said earlier, is one of them that had one of the more unique functions amongst the Transformers, and it's something that I wish more of the modern media about them would cover and take into consideration for them. Being a diversionary tactician means you're going to end up taking a few risks in order to make the enemy believe that you're doing something else instead of what you really are doing. And that's just a concept that I don't see them covering too much with them, especially with the modern movies and such. But of course, since Hasbro doesn't really list any of that on their paperwork anymore, they're just here. And in a lot of ways, that's a shame. They really ought to use that to promote more of the different functions that they can do in the service. But at any rate, for this toy, it's not bad. I mean, let's face it, a lot of us kind of got tired of seeing the same Transformer style get used. So, he has that against him, and the similar accessories also, again, makes him kind of dull looking. But when you factor in that he does have a unique job function, and I do like the colors on him especially, it does tend to work out pretty well. The biggest other problem that I have with him is the same fragile point on the toy as the others have. That's the one major downside about having a lot of similarities like that, is that those weaknesses remain as well. So, unfortunately, that's not something that can be easily written off. But as stated earlier, if you can find one in good condition like this one is, then you definitely have yourself a keeper, my friends. And at any rate, that concludes my review of the Generation 1 Autobot Diversionary Tactician Smokescreen. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you like this video, drop me a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and join our ranks. And don't forget to ring the bell so you'll get notified when I load new content. I'd also like to ask you to share this video with your friends and fellow collectors to help this channel grow. And also share your thoughts about Smokescreen in the comments down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.